Well, I'll be, I just want to say to you that I'm very honored to be here sitting with you. I've always admired your work and something that I aspire to. But I wanted to pick up. I wanted to pick up on one thing that Javier was saying about, you really need teamwork, or you need people, like especially today with doing stuff online. You really need a team of people to be able to put together all the parts of a graphic. And I think it goes even beyond the production of the graphic. Like it goes to like the conception of the graphic. And what I'd like to do today is kind of go over the conception part. Just trying to get us all thinking about how can we think about the election next year and ways of visualizing it that would be more interesting and enlightening for people. So I'm going to start out trying to visualize the electoral votes. And if you go back to the 2000 election and think about what was really interesting about the 2000 election. Anyway, what was the interesting thing about the 2000 election that the fraud? Yeah, the popular voting, like won the popular vote, the lost electoral vote, right? So we're thinking about the vote, the results, right? And thinking, okay, so in the preparation for the election in our department, I'm actually the graphics, I'm a graphics editor, I'm one of 30 graphics editors actually at the times. And we actually, in preparing for the election, we actually sit down and try to brainstorm like how we're going to visualize this election and what's going to be important. And we knew going into the 2000 vote that it was going to be close. And when you think about how we normally display electoral vote victories, like just stack them up in bars, it's not very enlightening. It doesn't like give you any sense that how close the race is, like the real nuance of how close it is. Because like you can see it's close, but I don't really understand. Like, I want to know more about how close it is. Like not only how close it is. So we're thinking like what makes the electoral vote like a state's electoral vote like different than like the popular vote. It's a winner-take-all system, right? So if a candidate wins a race by 80%, that candidate gets all the electoral votes. But if he only wins by 51%, he still gets all the electoral votes, right? So candidates like the presidential candidate will. You don't know how many of the states in this chart. We don't know how many of the states the candidate won like a large percentage of the vote, or he won just a slim margin. And we wanted to try to find a way. How do we find a way to represent that visually? So the one thing that we came up with is this chart, which represents going upward, the same thing that we saw on the previous one, which is like just a total number of electoral votes per state. But instead of keeping the width of the bar constant for each state, we actually varied the width of the bar by the margin of the victory in that state. So for DC in the bottom, like DC is always like goes Democratic by a large margin, so it might be like 30%, like a plus 30% margin for the Democratic candidate. But as you get up higher and higher, like Gore is winning by thinner and thinner margins, like in states like Iowa and Pennsylvania is won by thin margins. So you get a capture in one form is how close the election is. And but when we pitched, like we came up with this form, and we actually like did it we put the 1996 data and presented it. And like we knew that we were going to get resistance in the newsroom because like the newsroom was always like a little bit slower in visual literacy and telling us, well, if I don't get the graphic on first glance, then it's no good. And this is something that we've been really trying to fight a lot of. Is like readers don't need to understand a graphic at the first glance, right? Like Do they understand the story, just glancing at the story? No, they read the story. They might spend 15, 20 minutes reading a long story. So why can't readers spend 15, 20 minutes reading a graphic? So like this is the kind of graphic I think that some of our readers are just not going to get. But the readers who do study it, like, are going to be rewarded. And I think that's one of the things that often we try to do is come up with ways of presenting information that yes, they may lose some of our readers, but the readers who invested time to study them are going to come back really illuminated about whatever it is we're trying to show them. So this might make it a little bit easier to see what's going on, because like this one we did in 2004, so you can see how close the election in 2000 was compared to how close it was in 2004, and you can see like which states were the ones like that were really seeing the put Bush over the top.